Yo, it's your favorite stringer, Amazing Crosses, guys. We're recording this on the weekend of Labor Day, guys. Hopefully you guys been hard charging the whole year. We've been steamrolling since Kalamazoo, which seems a little short because it was just a couple of months ago or a month ago. And, our mind hasn't had time to stop yet. But, now with this podcast, I appreciate all the comments, the likes, even dislikes, and, the feedback that I get, because I'm trying to make this better. And I'm trying to do this not just for tennis, but like as far as, hey, how can I help somebody go through, maybe life's path or just business maybe, or just dealing with different personalities, dealing with different customers, people, maybe managers, things like that. Relationships, sometimes I have different analogies that can kind of, maybe give you a different light on things. So that being said, guys, this episode, I want to dig down into like what makes us different from, your other content on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. People reviewing strings and rackets and teaching you how to, do a proper weave and a proper tie off and all this good stuff. That's great. I'll leave it for Richard Parnell, ERSA. I'll leave it for, hey, tennis spin fan. I don't know his name, but he's huge on YouTube doing reviews on that. And, I'll just kind of be in the background here, as I always done. Well, nobody really talk about the aspect of business. And like I said, in other videos, I already mentioned, like, when you start talking about money and things like that, people get like, ugh. And I don't want it to be like that, especially in this world. Guys, it's definitely fair for, maybe the general public not to know what the map price is or, the wholesale price. But, honestly, knowledge is power, and it's just a flick of a button. Because right now it's like, hey, where can I get the best deal? So people go like eBay, Amazon, things like that. Or maybe in their Facebook marketplace where they have players selling rackets, strings. I'm not going to say who. Anyway, but please do believe me, there are reps out there looking and scouring through the wanted and listed ads and stuff like that. And, if you get caught, then maybe they'll just yank your sponsorship, things like that. But I've always been there since like 2012 talking about, like, hey, what can you do to make yourself better as a stringer, a businessman, a person, just a well-rounded, because you can't just have all skills. It's great. Anybody, not anybody can string. I think anybody can string, but if you get to that level where your stringing is just like phenomenal, now you need to work on the other side, which is the business aspect. Some people are, hey, they're great at business, they're great at stringing, and then they're just missing a third component, which is they might come off not approachable to clienteles. They can do the stringing and the business is solid, their money is good. However, they have no people skill. Communication sucks. So communication, finances, and honestly, just energy and emotion. So, I wish I had more time. Well, I wish I took more time when I was younger going through this process. There was somebody who could mentor me. And I think, people are like, hey, you should get a mentor. This sounds so like, what's a cliche, but, how do you find a mentor in the stringing world? If this is what you enjoy, it's a very small niche. That's why we get paid the big bucks, kinda. Some of us do. I do. How do we find somebody that we can follow, right? And I love these, Unstrung Heroes group ads, group forums on Facebook, and I think they're awesome. Even the OG, Tennis Talk on Tennis Warehouse. But just like a lot of things, things are censored. When you say certain things, they cut you out, or they won't post it. They'll kind of filter it out before anything else. And I think it's one of those things, like when we originally came out with Mains and Cross Unstrung Unfiltered, like, hey, let's let out the dirt. Let's talk about what's going on. Because if we just keep on sugarcoating these things, we're just going to go in the same loop and loop over again. I think that sucks. That being said, business and communication and being a stringer, like I said, you need those little, like the pyramid. It's like it's a foundation, and you build yourself up, right? And I went over this a couple videos ago, and I'm going to kind of go over my top 10, like, I won't say quotes, but the top 10 things that I've learned, writing things down, and what helps with life, tennis, business, relationships, and just plain on being a good person. And so the first thing you want to do in communication, everybody's like, hey, how do you speak? Right? It's like, oh, I can communicate, I can talk. Well, sometimes the other part of communication is actually listening, right? Your listening skills. How good are your listening skills? And you're only as good as the questions you ask. Yeah, I want you to improve asking better questions instead of like, what do you want? What strings do you want? What are you using right now? What are your coach using? I want you to improve your style, even your tone, just asking the right question to get better results, right? Because if you ask crappy questions, you're gonna get crappy answers. So instead of be like, hey, I'm here to get my racket strung. What do you guys have? Hey, welcome to my store. We got a lot of stuff. What are you looking for? Well, I was using this string. Can you identify it? Let me take a look. Well, it looks like synthetic gut. We got, if you want some of those, we got plenty of those. We got some Wilson, we got some Prince, Head. What are you looking for? Well, I'm just looking for get my racket strung, man. I don't know too much about strings. I'm just starting back up. I'm kind of intermediate. We got these strings right here. We got them on sale. They're going for like $10 here plus my stringing fee for another $20. It's $30. I think these will be good for you. Oh, really? Okay, let's go with that one then. So with that scenario right there, you see like, hey, they're asking question with another, answering it with another question. So you're just going back and forth, and I see it all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I used to cold call certain competitors, and I'll just listen to their answers. Like, hey, what kind of strings do you have? Like, well, whatever we have in our store, like that. It's like, and I was like, hey, so what's an affordable string? And they'll be like, well, let's see what's on the clearance. And they'll find like, some Gamma synthetic gut or things like some Dunlop S gut or something like that they got for like $2. And they're like, okay, now go with that. Now let's change it up a little bit. Let's go Amazing Crosses. Hey man, I'm getting my racket strung with you guys today. I saw you guys on the internet. I haven't been playing for a while, and the racket just, the string just broke this morning. I wonder if you can get my racket strung today. Oh, hey, so your racket just broke down just right now? Okay, well, we will be happy to do it. And guess what? We can do it same day today. Can you bring it to us today? Yeah. I looked at your website. You're like 15 minutes away. I'll be there in a bit. Perfect. Now, obviously, you have many selections, but I want to know, what kind of playing style do you have? Well, right now, I'm just hitting with my daughter. She's getting back into tennis. So I figure, hey, let's get the racket out of the garage. And like I said, it happened to break. I just want something easy because I can just feed her the ball. Oh, hey, congrats. Now that you get the daughter playing tennis, it's you must be proud. But so, you need something like a little easy. And so you're just basically rattling around with your daughter, maybe feed her some balls. Is that correct? Yeah. You know what? Let's get something that will last a little bit. What kind of rackets do you have that you're bringing? Oh, I have one of those old school. I think it's the Head S7, S6 is a pretty big oversized. I mean, it's a big racket. Oh, wow. That's a pretty powerful racket. Very popular still. You know what? I have a great idea. Let's give you some Luxlon Alu Power that I have. It's a solid string in great power, and it's going to be durable. I feel like for you, if you're just going to feed her the ball, I think having something that's a little more durable, something more control oriented, and of course, you already have the power. But like I said, this will just complement it. What do you think about that? Oh wow, that's great. What's the price on that? It's $45. You'll get it same day today. As soon as you bring it, we'll probably knock it out in 20 minutes. Oh, really? Today? Wow, great. I'll see you in a couple minutes. Let's do it. What's the difference between that scenario versus the first one? It sounded like Mains and Crosses, me, was the expert. You're kind of diagnosing certain things. Like I said, I mentioned before, you're like a doctor. You're just not going to prescribe whatever the hell you have, or here's the cheapest medication, take this, it's good, some Motrin, whatever. No, you're going to be like, hey, okay. And when you go into the office, they make you fill all those questionnaires, blah, blah, blah. You got to be your own receptionist too. So you're asking the right question. Okay, let me know what you want. Is it the timing, things like that? What seems to be bothering you, sir? And when you sit down with a doctor, you're like, hey, prescribing. Like, let me hear what you got. Oh, my tummy hurts. And, I ate something yesterday, and now it's just kind of aching. I waited 24 hours. Anyway, same thing with the tennis racket. He told you, hey, he's gonna feed the ball with his daughter. His string broke, so urgency, right? The urgency of it. He's just rattling around with his daughter, just kind of feeding her the ball. So yeah, you're gonna win with synthetic gut. But you know what? I gave him a higher option. And in turn, he's going to enjoy it a little more. I told him it's going to be a little more durability. Your racket's already powerful. Let's just kind of, give it a little more control and some direction with it. I'll just complement it. And then boom. And I reiterate, hey, our service is quick and it's going to be great for you. Next thing you know, you'll have him $45, whatever the price it may be. Cha-ching, you asked the right questions because you listened. It's not just like, hey, you're stringing a racket. You're like, Amazing Crosses. Yeah, we got strings. Just come on over. It's like that. Like, who want? Imagine being greeted like that at the restaurant. Get out of here. You're horrible. Second one, right? Breaking certain routines, guys. We do the same thing over and over again, and I don't want you to rely on the same old methods and tactics. Try new strategies. Try to stand out. Every single year I try to tweak something. Either it's the price, right? That's a great thing to tweak. Price, maybe the website, maybe the way I handle customer service communication. Maybe I try different things as far as, how do I give my clients extra? They're already paying me for my service, but how can I do the extra mile? So this year I was like, hey, everybody who comes through the thing, instead of worrying about like, hey, are they going to choose the right string? Are they going to be the right match? I said, hey, you know what? Let's not even confuse you with that. Let's not even talk about the price. Let's talk about what you want. Once we dial down what you want, right? Let's do it. I'll get you the tension. I'll get you the strings. Go play with it. I want you to be happy. I want you to get on the court and play with it. And you know what? I guarantee you, if you have any issue, please bring it back. We'll get to this. All we ask you to do is pay for the string. Our service is free. You can change as much as you want. Let's get this right. I recommend you this string as an expert. Now, if some issue that you just didn't like, maybe it just felt too stiff, it wasn't the right feel, it sounded weird, the color wasn't right, bring it on back. And you know what? That sincerity and just, it could be a loss. Out of 10 people, maybe 2 or 3 might bring it back, and so what? So what? You got a customer for life. Like, you actually went above and beyond where everybody else is like, hey, buy at your own cost. This is your problem. Hey, I strung it. This is, what it is. No, you want to build a relationship. So try to break that routine. If you're just so used to like, hey, this is our rules. You bring your own strings. If it doesn't play well, that's on you. Give them a little something. How much does an overgrip cost? It's like less than like 70 cents if you buy in bulk. Put it on for them. Ask them. This is a little thing I do. It's like, hey, are you left-handed or right-handed? And they were like, oh, I'm right-handed. And once in a while you get them to left-handed or whatever. But you ask them what, and they're probably like, oh, why is he asking me this? Like, is there a left-handed racket? No, I just want to throw you a new overgrip on the house. It look like you can use it. And they're just like, oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. And they're gonna be like, oh, you know what? I got something more than just a tennis string. I got the great advice. I got it done quick. Now I'm getting a little gift to go home with. So try breaking the routine. Try something a little different, right? Now this goes hand in hand too on the third one, guys. Now so far, I said 1, ask better questions, right? And 2, break your routine. Try something new, right? Try something new. So this one's deep too. This one is, you can use this with tennis, your other business, maybe work, relationship, life. Your past doesn't define you. Just because you struggle in the past doesn't mean the future is going to be the same thing. You can't be successful. I think people dwell on past experience, and I think this is human nature, right? We get our guards up, and you're like, oh man. But I've always found out where, you hear it all the time, the harder you fall, the bigger you bounce up, right? And I'm really a firm believer in that. And I wish I can tell you more. Maybe this will be Amazing Crosses after hour type thing, but I've done so many things that of course I regret, and things that I just be like, hey, I wish I can change it. And I still dream about it, and I still kind of hit myself in the back. And a couple months ago, I just kind of like realized like certain things that I just gotta let go. You kind of build yourself an identity. I was Amazing Crosses, it was big, and people say I fell off, things like that, and I took it to heart. I was like, I'm not gonna fall off. I just did something else, and I was fine with that, because at the end of the day, I found a whole new plan in life, and I thought it was great that I gave tennis and Amazing Crosses a little break, and it made me realize how much I miss it. So sometimes you need a break for certain things. So, that's my third thing. If your past doesn't define you, okay, let's say you're a crappy stringer, or you're a crappy manager, or you're a crappy coach or whatever in the past. Let's build up. I feel like those habits are easily can be broken, especially now. You have so many sources of help. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to me, you can put in the comments, you can actually go anonymous and just kind of be like, hey Smitty, this is my trouble. We can do like a tennis love line, or psychiatric help type thing, and I'll just shock you into back into reality here. But yeah, I believe in that. Your past doesn't define you, because all those struggles, like I said, you feel like, oh my god, I had such a hard time, I don't want my kids to go through the same thing. And of course we want better for our kids. And do I want my children to be professional stringers in the future? No, I want them to be better than me. However, this is a dying art, guys, and you got to pass along the knowledge to somebody. So even in the past, if somebody asks you like, hey, can you teach me how to string, and you kind of shove them on because you're like, yeah, I don't got time, maybe that's your path. Maybe a lot of people are going through the same path I'm going. I've done enough, and I kind of want to teach you, help you guys do better in the future. Now, number 4 is the value of perception, right? Your price of the string reflects on how much the value customer sees them. So like, hey, your ODA is worth as much as your customers. And I say this comparison, like Louis Vuitton and Rolex, things like that. Like, why do people pay so much for a watch or a car? Or when they go eat at a restaurant, they go into a 5-star restaurant, and yeah, some people say, oh, quality of the food, it's great. The chef had 10,000 years of experience, and his dad's dad was a sushi chef, and that stringer, he was working right under Richard Parnell. He was working, he's like, yeah, I worked under Richard Parnell. Oh, you worked under Parnell? Yeah, he was on the second floor, I was on the first. Ha! It's the perception, right? If you dress the part, you look the part, people are going to perceive you a certain way. So guys, I need to shave myself too, but look like what you would want somebody to be at a high-end string retail. If you were the Chanel or the Hermes or the Louis Vuitton, what would they dress up? If you can imagine your stringing booth as a high-end retail place where they sell Ferrari and they have $500 shots of cognac or whatever, high-end upscale, what would that stringer look like? And picture that, and whatever you're wearing right now, if it's nowhere near close, you gotta work your way up. So you're just wearing underwears and a t-shirt, string your rackets when the customer comes, or you're just wearing a tennis outfit that you didn't sell on your rack, and now you're wearing it. People know you play tennis. People know this is a tennis place. People know this is Louis Vuitton. And people know when they came in the Porsche. They're not wearing a Porsche design shirt. It's Louis Vuitton, they're obviously wearing their own accessories, but they want you to look the part, right? Nobody cares you got a Yonex machine. They probably don't know how much you got. Nobody cares that you got a Wilson Bayard. Nobody cares that you got a MRT from ERSA, and you studied under Richard Parnell. Nobody knows that. They just want to know, can you do the job? Do you look like you can play that part? All right. So guys, perception is everything. I think, especially in this world, people say, well, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. In this case, unfortunately, we are, as much as we don't want to be like, I don't judge a book by its cover, but I guarantee you, if you look the part, you look like a Grand Slam stringer, you look like a stringer that's working at a high-end, club, you would go that way, right? Now, with that, I can't help that you got to turn, and this is, like I said, I think my 5th thing is turning your passion into profit. I said that in a couple of videos, but combining your passion for tennis and like business, or your passion for art, or your passion for, maybe you like running, or whatever it may be, like turn it into something sustainable as far as in your life. Like, I think you should enjoy what you're doing. So for me, I went away from stringing, I went away from tennis, and I enjoyed doing some other stuff. And in a very short time, I was able to do conferences. I went to a lot of expos with Web3, things like that. I learned so many. I build, my goodness, decentralized website. I built a game. I became a game builder or a game dev. I moderated Discord. I learned how to make a group. I learned how to buy crypto, all that stuff, have a, hot and cold wallet, all this stuff. And that was my passion. And I was like, how can I monetize that? So I went overseas and I said, hey, I know a little bit about Web3 and I can, incorporate that in your tennis or whatever business you, and they pay me for that. I was giving them a different look into business in a Web3 world. And, a lot of people aren't there yet. So you're only, like I said, perception is the reflect on what the value of the customer will pay for you. So if you talk $100, you'll be $100. If you talk 1,000, you'll be 1,000. If you talk $1 million, you'll be worth $1 million. So you got to play that part. Now take action too. Don't wait for the perfect moment. I think that's like my number 6. Like all this stuff that we're talking about, you got to take action. Nothing happens if you don't do anything. You got to start promoting yourself and your streaming service. If you don't have your Instagram, you don't have your YouTube, you don't have Indeed, whatever the hell. If you don't have any social media presence, you're basically might as well just hammering your own coffin with this business, because no matter how great your stringer is, or your stringing is, no matter how great your machine is, nobody's gonna know about it until what? Until they can find you. If they can't find you on Google, they can't find you on Amazon. Where are they gonna find you? You're the best stringer in the world. You got the cure for cancer, whatever it may be. If you don't get yourself published or take action, you're just waiting for them. Well, when I get bigger, I'll do it, or I'll make that website, or I'll finally put some pictures on Instagram. Just get your name out there, because what they're going to do is Google you. And if you have a Facebook, Instagram like that, maybe you can just put a website on there. Maybe you can put your phone number. Maybe you can put your address. How are they going to find you? So I think that's important. Now, I always said too, with my clients, I always aim high. And when I say clients, now I'm meaning more for business. When people ask me to talk about or give them intel on, hey, I want you to come up with ideas with this project for, the Solinco at Indian Wells. I want to give you, give me some ideas for Kazoo for 2025. Things like that. Don't be afraid to aim high in negotiation. Set your highest price. Give them premium work. And I said, what's that saying, right? You don't want to under deliver. You want to, you want to be able to say, heck, I control this. I'm the professional. I know what I'm doing. So set it high. It leaves room to wiggle down. So if you say like, hey, I know, I feel like I'm worth only 400. I would say, hey, shot 1,000, and then work your way down. Say, whoa. What's the worst I can say? They could be like, hey, yo, Solinco, I got this idea. He said, oh, great. I'm going to send you my invoice. How much is it going to cost me? You know what? With all this, this budget is almost, this is almost $3,000 worth. I'm going to charge you $1,000 for our time. Whoa. Wow. We appreciate your idea, things like that. However, it's 1,000 is a little above our budget right now. We kind of have a new launch going on, and it's the end of the season. You relax. I know I said 1,000. Like I said, is there what number are you comfortable with? Oh, well, at first we were thinking about, $500, and we can give you some strings. We can, work on other things, and this goes great. We would love to give you some more kickbacks. Well, 500. Well, it's almost like meeting me halfway. It's hard running the ideas with that type of budget. You have to understand, I have to scale it down a little bit. So out of those ideas that I gave you 3. Can we scale down to 2 things, or maybe one thing that's big out of that? What do you want to showcase on this string? Well, you know what? We really want to emphasize customer service, with the players and the player experience. I see. So your budget right now is at 500, and you had in mind. I mentioned 3 items that I think this can be a grand slam. However, what you want to emphasize on is the customer service and relationship in the players area. Is that correct? Yeah, we pride ourselves with just, dealing with, the parents and the kids, and we want them to feel very special. I got you. How about this? I know I asked for 1,000, but I think with your budget, you said 500. I think I can do that for you. Like I said, we had those two other ideas, but let me focus on your customers, your clients, your parents. I think I can run a new proposal that will emphasize on that. What do you think? Well, now that you mention it, you had a great presentation on the whole stringing room too. You know what? Let's go with $1,000. Take care of all those three things, because it seems like we need all three to make this all work out. And I don't want to cheap shot it a little bit. Now that you mention it, that hey, I don't want to break up those ideas that we had just because it's a $500. Let me, what? It's fair price. Let me pay you the 1,000. Zelenko, thank you so much. That's what I thought. Like, we didn't want to shortchange the experience either. I think with the higher budget, or the budget that we're looking at, I think I can make it happen. Once I tallied up everything else, I'll send you my invoice for 1,000. And I appreciate this relationship. We've worked in the past, and I wish we can go forward doing bigger, better things. What do you think about that, man? Let's do it, Smitty. Guys, that's almost a real conversation, because I have many of those with many companies, not just tennis, but they're like, hey, what I tell you about those options, right? When you give them so many options, you're like, because I'm such a creative, I give them so humongous idea, and it's going to be $10,000. It's going to be awesome. Oh, it's all 10,000. Excuse me, 10,000. Our budget was 2,000. Oh, 2,000. So instead of just be like, hey, I can't do it, I'm not doing it, give them less options. Well, we gave you 10, but with 2,000, let's break it down. I mean, we can do 2 out of those 10 things. And when you pick them out, remember I said, hey, what do you want to focus on? They say, hey, I want my customers. And so when I mentioned that, I was like, okay, I'll do something, I'll kind of modify things around and kind of focus that $500 that you said that you're going to, you had for this budget. We're going to do, we're going to do that. And then he made it realize after we talked about it, he's like, you know what? The full experience is those 3 things that we talked about, or the other things we talked about. Just having one thing wouldn't work out. And he kind of was like, hey, let me just pay you the full thing. I think it's worth it. You don't have to apologize, but he just knew, like, hey, let's just do this. It's going to be great. We worked with each other before. But like I said, you just turn that 500 back to 1,000, maybe even more. Because you showed them how much value you're getting out of you, because of your experience of all that good stuff. Because when you limit things down, if it's too less, I mean, if it's not enough, they're gonna be like, oh, whoa. That's like food, right? You're preparing a dinner for somebody, and you're like, yeah, the budget's $1,000. The budget's 500. Well, we had $1,000 worth of food here, so let's cut that back. That you only get 30 meatballs, 30 pasta plates. Oh, 30. That might not be enough. We have like over 50 people, let's go back, scale back, now it makes sense. You got to give them the content. Now, the last thing, this is my, I guess, 8th advice for business life, whatever. It's, this video's going almost 30 minutes, and I got plenty more on this list, but learn the business language, right? Understanding business can elevate your tennis string from just a hobby into a business, where if you don't learn the business side of it, you're not going to get the full experience. Because like I said, you could string all the rackets you can want. You can know all the specs on the rackets, from string patterns to the RA to the size, the balance. Nobody gives a crap. If you can't sell the racket, if they're going to go to Tennis Warehouse or Tennis Point or wherever the hell, or they go to Amazon, they'll just buy it. I mean, you can have all this knowledge, but it means jack if you can't put it into a business form. If you can't talk business, then we have an issue. This is my example. Hey, we got a racket here, the new Wilson Class version 2. Beautiful, amazing racket. The RA is so soft, sweet like butter. It has this, whatever technology, right? I don't even know what the hell's in it anymore. Because honestly, for me now, it's like, hey, I can sell a pencil, right? Remember that Wolf of Wall Street, like, sell me this pen. Like, dude, give me that racket. He's like, what color you don't like? Well, I don't like yellow. Here's a red racket. Here, buy it. You know, what's your excuse? You said you didn't like a yellow racket. Here's a red racket. Let's use it. It's just one of those things. You gotta learn how to do that. So instead of be like, hey, this racket have all the specs, you know, you're bombarding them with things that they'll probably read about it, but how's it gonna feel, right? Now check this out. Hey, sir, I got this racket for you. It's a Wilson Clash. Ooh, sweet like butter, guys. And you mentioned you had some arm issues. When you use this, it's gonna give you that smooth, great feeling, great power. You know, I was at Kalamazoo. A bunch of the kids were using it, and I think this might be the racket for you. We'll string this on up. We'll put some Luxilon Alu power on it. Get you on that court. What do you think about that? Yeah, it's great. How much is it gonna be? It's about, you know, with everything's about $260 out the door. You know, tax here and there, but I think around $260 with stringing. Oh, that's quite expensive. You know, I saw this thing at that Amazon. They were selling for $220 or something like that with the strings. I think. And I was like, oh, wow, that's quite the price, including strings. What kind of strings do you have? I said some synthetic gut or something like that. I think let me pull it up. Oh, it says Gamma synthetic gut. Well, synthetic gut's great. You know, I mean, it's been used for quite a while. However, you know, with the precision power you need, you know, you over here you're looking for Luxilon, and you know, obviously Luxilon's a $20 string packet already. You know what? How about this? We'll honor that price. We'll give you for $220. You just pay for the strings, right? And I won't even charge you for the stringing charge. How about that? It'll be $240. You know, I know we talked about that a little early. You know, I'll take the cut on that. Oh wow, $240. I get it right now. Like, let's do it, man. What just happened there? You turn into one of those, you know, that, you know, you go to car shopping, right? I was a car salesman before, and it was like, hey, you know, I was browsing around, you know, let me go think about let me talk to my wife, and let me go, you know, is this the best price? And I'm gonna go look around. What they're doing, they're just scouring for prices. They're trying to excuse to not buy from you. And what you gotta do is bring them on back. Hey, the car is here. Is it the color you want? What's the issue? Is it the price? We found out, hey, the price. Amazon said they got it for $220, including strings. So I asked them, hey, Amazon, that's a great price. However, what strings are they putting in? And he's like, oh, it's Gamma. Well, Gamma's like a $2 string, $3, whatever, max. You wanted Luxilon. We talked about that Alu power. You know, you were looking at strings. It's going to be a great string. We're going to string it right now. Amazon might get it to you maybe, you know, 2 days, next day, whatever, but you'll get this right now with better strings. And I'm not even charging you for my service because we want you as a customer. Ooh, the guy's like, ready, take my money. Guys, learn the business, right? Because if all you had was, this is map pricing, sir, I can't change the price. This is the price we have. You know, we got a cost of, you know, we got the cost of the light and employees and things like that. We're a mom and pop shop. You know, it's good. That's a you problem. Stop. I just bought these new machines. I just upgraded the AC. That's a you problem. You're not helping their problem. Their problem is they don't have a racket. They want it a certain time. They want a certain string, and it's a certain price. Break some of those barriers. Learn the interaction of business and communication. I think that's the only way. So guys, can't believe it's been like 30 minutes just talking. I could do this all night because I want you guys to get better. Like seriously, it's one of those things like better as communicators, talking, and this could help you with the relation. I need to do better. Guys, this is like what, 9 p.m. on a weekend. I'm doing these podcasts. My wife's upstairs. She knows the rule. She knows the thing. Like I grind so hard for our family. And sometimes I gotta take a break too. And I know I'm not the greatest dad or the husband and, you know, all that. But I know each time that I make these videos, I feel good. I feel more confident. I am actually relearning the things. You know, that's when they say when you teach somebody, it's almost like you're getting it absorbed into you too. And, you know, I'm very proud of my daughter and son, and they see me do this every day. They saw the editing. They saw how hard it was. So my daughter had her first kind of a YouTube showcasing makeup. A deal. You know, this is Dream Skin Care Perfect. And this is a global age-defying skincare perfect for skin creators. And she's doing like the little sound on unboxing, you know. Look, I have the stuff here. She don't even use it, but she just likes reviewing. People mimic, especially if you're a parent. You know, this is a positive thing you can do. Somebody like, hey, get off the internet, get off of social media. I mean, we all live it. And sometimes I gotta hang up the phone myself. And my wife's like, you're always on that phone. And it's true. We're so stuck in here. However, if I'm gonna be stuck in here, I'm gonna end up doing something good for the people, especially in the tennis and stringing world. Where I'm only talking to 50 of you because I see the comments, I see the views, until like 3 people watch. But who cares? Who cares? I'm out there. This is all content. At the end of the day, when they search it up, I'm gonna have more videos. I have over 1,000 videos. Yeah, actually, I might have. Let's go right now. How many videos I have on YouTube? Because think about all the YouTube videos you make, that goes into your algorithm. So when they come up on Google, stuff like that, it'll pop up like, hey, this is Amazing Crosses on whatever. And it's important. Like I said, it's important. I go back to my thing. It's important.
I had a client come in, didn't even ask about money.
I have over 260. That's 1,000. I have over 260 videos, right? More shorts, things like that. Live session. I have over like 1,000 plus followers. You know, the highest like I ever had was like 500. I think the most viral video was like me opening the Wilson custom rackets. And that was like 27,000 viewers. You know, but, you know, look, the last stringing videos I've been doing is like 45 views 3 days, 10 views 3 days, 9 views, 54 views, 48. I mean, I'm proud of it. You know, people. I was like, man, I wish there was like 1,000 or I'd go viral. But like, think about it. If you had 50 views, or you know, I'm assuming maybe that might be 50 different people, but it could be less. But imagine having 25 people in the room listening to your 30-minute podcast. That's pretty damn good to me. Take small gains, guys. Amazing Crowds. Don't forget, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I hope you have a great Labor Day. Peace.